Hi, Reading 100 students. Okay, so the purpose of this lecture is to delve back into the logical fallacies, okay? And then we're going to look at completing a worksheet in your course reader. So I'm going to quickly just do a revision. Uh, Sorry about that. I'm going to quickly do a revision. Sorry, let me just re-share this again with you guys. There you go. I'm going to do a quick revision on all the different logical fallacies that we've done. We actually did just about four of them. Okay. So we looked at four logical fallacies that we're going to discuss a bit. So the first one, we talked about the ad hominem fallacy. That's when you are attacking the person and that you're not attacking the argument. Okay. So when you are losing an argument, do not attack the person. Then the next one is straw man fallacy. It's when you present a very weak or distorted version of the opponent's argument that can be easily refuted. Okay. So, for example, by exaggerating a reasonable thing into something very unreasonable. So, for example, if I say to you, okay, we need to have better laws, okay, in guns and to reduce violence. And then the opponent says, oh, this person wants to remove all of our rights to have guns. That's an extreme, okay, opposition. The same thing if I say students should have more flexibility in choosing their courses. And then my argument is like, okay, since you're letting students choose their own courses, we might as well let them do everything else. They can choose their own professors, they can choose their own exams. Okay, that is being very unreasonable and being extreme as well. Then the other one we talked about was the slippery slope. It's by saying that one small position or one small thing will lead to various steps of events and then become disastrous. Okay. And it's pretty extreme. It's saying that, well, if we if we allow students to retake exams soon, they will expect to retake every assignment and the degrees will become meaningless. So the whole idea is that it happens step by step and the result is always very catastrophic. It's always very extreme. That is a slippery slope. And then the other one is called the post hoc fallacy, which is called false cause. It's saying something like, well, because I wore this bracelet, no wonder I'm getting a lot of money. Okay. Or because I am wearing my favorite t-shirt, no wonder I'm winning all of my games. It's not the t-shirt that caused you to win. It's probably your skills that caused you to win. And it's not the bracelet that caused you to have more money. It's probably your ability and your intelligence that helped you to find diverse ways of getting money. So that's what we call a post hoc fallacy. So the bigger thing about logical fallacies is being able to spot them. You need to be able to see them, identify them, and also explain why is that a fallacy. All right. So what I think we're going to do is we're going to look at in your course readers on page 85. This is what's in your course readers on page 85. Okay. It is basically, let me just move this bar right up there. Okay. These are just questions that you have to read, and then you have to decide on the four logical fallacies. Okay. It's on page 85 in your course reader. So you need to look at the scenario and then determine which logical fallacy is the scenario describing. So let's look at number one. Number one says, if I don't take this AP class, then I won't do well in the exam. If I don't do well in the AP exam, then I can't get into a good college. If I can't get into a good college, then I'll never get a good job. If I can't get a good job, then I'm going to have, so it's telling you all the different steps. And guess what? All right. I'm going to have to live with my parents in my parents' house forever. So it's from one small exam to an extreme outcome. We call that the slippery slope. So this one is a classic example of the slippery slope. So let's look at number 2. Number 2 says, Sarah, I think the library should stay open later on weekends to help students study. Then Tom says, so you want to waste taxpayers' money keeping the buildings open all night? I suppose you think librarians should be paid for 24/7 work. All right. What do you think is this fallacy? It's a classic straw man fallacy. It's her saying a very reasonable thing. I think the library should stay open later on weekends to help students study. And then Tom's argument is taking it to the extreme by saying, oh, so if we stay up later, that means we need to waste taxpayers' money. Okay, what has that got to do with keeping the library open? All right. And then also paying them 24/7 is a very extreme point, a very distorted point as well, because she's trying to find flexibility and he's going to extreme. So that would be a classic example of a straw man. Let's look at number 3. While he tells the court that he wasn't there on the night of the murder, this man has 32 parking tickets. He clearly has a criminal record. Just think about it. It's attacking what? The person. It's not looking at the argument. Okay? So therefore, we call that an ad hominem fallacy. It's when you attack the character and actually not the person's argument. Number 4, how can you possibly believe in evolution? That would mean that you believe an elephant evolved from a mouse, and that's just ridiculous. Which one is it? Look at the extremity. So the person says, okay, how can you believe in evolution? All right. And then what does the person do? He's using an extreme example by saying that, well, then that means you believe that an elephant came from a mouse. That's way extreme. It is no backing of evidence whatsoever. And we call that also a straw man, right? That's a straw man. If we allow, number 5, if we allow the children to choose the movie this time, they're going to expect to be able to choose the school they go to or the doctors they visit. What is that one? Slippery slope. Okay? It's looking at a catastrophic outcome. From one small thing to a catastrophic outcome. Number 6, I started wearing my lucky bracelet to exams last semester. Ever since then, my grades have improved significantly. This bracelet definitely helps me perform better. So the person says the reason why they're doing so well is because they're wearing a bracelet. That's not true. What do we call that one? What type of a logical fallacy we call? We call it an ad hoc or a false cause. Okay. Number 7, my opponent raises a good point about campus parking fees, but can we really trust him? I mean, he moved to this town only 2 years ago, and everyone knows that his wife left him. What do you think that one is? It is an ad hominem. It's attacking the personality. It's attacking the personal attack towards the person and not about the argument. The argument says, my opponent says that about campus parking fees. So the response should be about campus parking fees, but this person is actually attacking their personal life. Okay, so that's an ad hominem. And then at number 8, we have a professor says here, I think we should require students to attend at least 80% of classes. Okay, and then the student says, so you're saying that if someone gets sick or has a family emergency, they should automatically fail the course? That's so unreasonable. That again is a very extreme attack. We call that a straw man. Okay. So what I want you to do is also in your course reader on page 86. Let me see if I can actually pull this up with you guys. On page 86, there is, hold on, let me just stop sharing. Let me share again. Great. So on page 86, right, you have a space for all the four logical fallacies. I want you to write a logical fallacy that represents this. So the question is, should universities ban phones in classes? Discuss this question with a group. Write four logical fallacies related to phones used in the university classroom. Obviously, you're not in groups right now, so you have to do this alone. So fill this out, okay, so that when we meet up on Tuesday or Thursday and we have feedback session, you're able to complete this, the ad hominem fallacy. The ad hominem fallacy, the straw man fallacy, slippery slope fallacy, and false cause. You need to write down an example of that fallacy about should universities ban phones in the classroom. What would be an extreme argument for each? Okay. All right. I hope that helps. I hope that giving you the answers to that can help you identify logical fallacies. This will definitely help you prepare for your quiz on Sunday. And I'm going to email you about that, by the way. All right. Thank you so much, students, and I will see you in the next lecture.